Hi everybody, this is Z. These are some pretty big vintage speakers. They're about 30 years old, and I've been wanting to do a video on these for the longest part, and even longer than that. I've been wanting to have some speakers with at least a 15-inch, big 15-inch woofer, or bigger, 22-inch, but I wasn't able to source any 22-inch woofer that I could afford. But anyhow, these are AAL, American Acoustical Lab, 154 speakers. They're made by MTX, and I got these about 2 years ago. They've been in a family. They were my sister's, so my sister kind of gifted them to me. They're, in really great condition, pretty much mint condition. And she ran these off like a Sherwood receiver, and I've been listening to them for maybe about, I want to say 8 to 12 months. Nothing, not really rocking them out at all. They're all original. There's no rotting. Everything's in really good shape. I mean, it's all pretty together. Everything's supple. They're not falling apart or anything by any means. And just listening to them at low levels, they really had a tremendous mid-range. They didn't really need any subwoofers. But I got out and I started looking for some more information on them because I didn't have any information on them at the time, and couldn't find much about them. Some people absolutely loved them. They're like rocking out speakers. I was really looking for something that, if you recall the Maxell Blown Away poster for Maxell audio tapes, where the guy's just sitting there in a big comfy leather chair and he's got one speaker, and it's blowing out his martini and the lampshade, and his hair and his tie are all getting blown away. And that's the kind of feeling that I think that people look for when they're looking at vintage speakers. And I don't really think it's a good idea to compare vintage speakers so much with audiophile speakers, although some of the higher end audiophile speakers could probably give you that kind of slam, that these are capable of offering, but nowhere near the price range for most people. It's pretty much out of reach. But a pair of vintage speakers, I've seen these go anywhere from $250 to about $700. There's all kinds of other speakers out there, JBLs, Klipsch, Sony made speakers, Sanyo, Pioneer, Technics, you name it. There's a lot of great stuff out there. So it all depends on, your luck as far as what you end up with. But for right now, I've got these. And for those of you that have a pair of these that really want to get some more information on them, I have something that a lot of people don't have, which is the original owner's manual. So I'll give you guys the specs on this real quick and wrap this video up. I also have the original receipt. So starting with that, when were these purchased? These were purchased on November 17th, 1990 at a cost of $319.90 plus $22.40 sales tax, for a grand whopping total of $342.30. And by today's 2021, if you count for inflation, we're probably looking at approximately $650 to $680 in today's money, which is quite an impressively low amount of money for a set of speakers like this that are made in the United States. They were warranted by the manufacturer for 10 years. They're 3/4 inch thick on all 6 sides plywood. Not plywood, particle board. And they put out an impressive sound. These are AAL 154s. They kick out, or they can handle 125 watts per channel, peaking at 250 watts per channel, although I think they could probably do better than that. I think that's a conservative estimate. But anyway, hey, let me run through some of the specs. 29 inches high, 16.5 inches deep, and I think they're 18.5 inches wide. So these are, not exactly light speakers. I don't know how much they weigh, but they're probably in the area of about 60 to 65 pounds, right in there a piece. So here's the specs on the AAL 154. And one of the things I read is that a lot of people think these are 4-ways, but according to this manufacturer's specification guide, these are basically 15-inch 5-way speakers. The woofer, it's a 15-inch fiber foam surround, 2-inch voice coil. I believe it's a dual voice coil as well. There's 2 mid-ranges. There's a 4-inch and a 3-inch cone. They're both sealed, and they both have the ferrofluid coolant in them. The tweeter is 3 3/4-inch round horn-loaded quartz tweeter. These are really crisp, clean-sounding speakers. They sound pretty good with vocals too. Frequency response, we got from 40 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz. Sensitivity, 92 decibels. Nominal impedance, 4 ohms. A lot of people are running these off receivers. I had them on a Yamaha RU900 receiver, but I think when I finally set these up, I'm going to run them off separates and see how they sound with an amp that has, a pretty decent damping factor that can really control those woofers and see the kind of sound they put out on their own before I even consider any kind of upgrades to them, just to see where we're at, starting point. I also want to take them someplace. There's a place here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. It's a guy that's been actually specializes in vintage speakers, reconditioning them. I want to see what kind of suggestions he has, maybe adding some more damping material, upgrading the caps, maybe some resistors in there on the crossovers, and a couple of other things possibly. So, and I think that's about it. All American components, made right here in northern Illinois. Heavy, pretty decent. They didn't cost me anything, so that makes them a slamming great buy. But I think they're worthy of further exploration. Thanks for watching. Bye.